Hi, I'm Galina, and wow, today we have Katalin Bársony from Romedia Foundation. It provides support for Roma people, the largest minority in Europe. Katalin is an award-winning filmmaker who created Mundi Romani, the first documentary series on Roma communities around the world. We talk about Katalin's story, her projects, and how technology allows her and her friends to help Roma women from all over the world. Enjoy the interview and see you in the comments below.
Romedia has been established in 1992, some 21 years before, by a group of Romani intellectuals who considered that media is one of the most influential tools in our hands to change stereotypes on Roma. I manage the foundation and create the sustainable fiscal conditions for its sustainable development. But we also have several programs. We had a huge concert last year, Requiem for Auschwitz, that has been performed by the Roma and Sinto Philharmonic Orchestra from Frankfurt, and we organized a film festival and the exhibition at the French Institute in the same time. So that was a great, huge project. But over that, we're doing filmmaking mostly,
Yes.
independent documentaries, and also social media.
Okay. I watched a couple of your videos. I really like them.
Great. Thank you.
So I heard that you have been a filmmaker for a long time already, right? And you shoot your first film at 23, I think.
Yeah, I did. I was, I was doing television broadcasting when I was a teenager. So I had this special chance to stay a big broadcasting company leading the children's show. And that gave me a certain experience that was very important as a young filmmaker, to proceed with my own ideas. Though I started as an editor, and then my role developed during the years for different reasons, but I directed my first film in 2007. That was the film Granada, the Maya Family, and that was my first awarded film. As a vocation, I'm a social psychologist. I finished Hungarian at the Florence Science University. And after that, I was participating in an online e-learning course called Roma Diplomacy for a year. And after I had great grades finishing that program, I've been offered an internship at the European Parliament. So I was working for the Foreign Affairs Committee there. At the European Parliament, mostly dealing with the Balkans and Central Asia, actually. Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan, Georgia were among my portfolio at that time. And then I was doing independent research in an NGO in Brussels. And then I had this chance to come and do the documentary series. So I moved back from Brussels to Budapest and started doing the Mundi Romani series. Mundi means word in Latin, and Romani is the common name in our language of our people. So it was a mixture of this hybrid word that were the main idea to show the word through the eyes of Roma. And we were traveling in 27 countries during the 5 years while we were doing the series. And we produced 42 parts in the series, and each part is focusing either on a human rights problem or a specific country, and analyzing the situation of Roma from different angles, and in the same time trying to get, fresh and blood people to talk about their own issues instead of having people who are mostly analysts and academics who would explain the problems. We very much believe that people should speak about their own problems. So in all cases, we contacted the communities well advanced before the shooting and had this chance to go inside and analyze the situation through their eyes.
Wow.
And that's what we were doing.
That's really cool. So who are Roma women? How do you see yourself as a Roma woman?
You know, I was speaking a lot when someone asks me this question. I speak a lot about identity and the idea of modern identities, that we are living in a complex world where our identities are not Semitic anymore, but we do have double, triple, and multiply identities. And I was referring to the position of Romani women in a way that we do need to keep, as I do believe it's important for us to keep positive values from our cultural heritage, from our traditions, including our literature, our language, fairy tales, and most of the elements of our identities that are really good. But there are some elements in our Eastern culture that are not putting women in an equal position.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, we consider that it's important to point out in what ways we Romani women needs to change our habits and values and traditions and connect with the modern world. Meanwhile, we keep part of our traditional identity. So this is about Romani women, and also the campaign is supposed to be flesh and blood friends of mine, actually, featuring in a campaign speaking about their lessons learned and the message for the future for our grandchildren, how they should see, perceive our identity.
What does Romedia Foundation do?
Romedia Foundation is primarily trying to change mainstream perception on Roma,
Mm-hmm.
and doing it through education, through filmmaking and audiovisual perception, social media, events, and also in the past we've been organizing relevant big conferences.
So, do you have a community for Roma women or Roma people?
Sure, we do have great communities on the local level in all Europe, and there are women interest groups who are linked with us and following our activity. Moreover, we have the chance time to time each year to come together and discuss about prospects. My role and the role of romawomen.org, which is our website, is very important because these women are mostly living dispersed around Europe, so they rarely have a chance to discuss and meet, and they know very little about each other. So it's important that we have a message for the community, and each woman is introduced on their film. And this could have a great message for the overall public, but also most importantly for us.
Sounds great. So, is it like a Facebook group, or can they find each other online? Is this community based online?
It's integrated also on Facebook, but if you go www.romawomen.org, you find the main campaign website. And if you go online and type buvero.romawomen.org, then you find the online version with some 6,000 members of our group.
Wow, that's
which is allowed
impressive.
which is allowing basically daily communication on vivid issues that matters for Romani women to be discussed, but not just that, but also, as you said, a way to connect, to think about common projects, to think about ways to innovate new projects. At the moment, we are doing a cross-cultural project that is teaching Romani women on basic audiovisual development, meaning that we teach them citizen journalism, critical thinking, and video producing in a summer camp, which is happening in 4 countries, in Germany, Serbia, Macedonia, and Hungary this summer, starting on the 17th of July in Hungary. And it's a capacity building and an empowerment camp also for Romani women, for each of them who will be selected to take part in the project. And they are the future generation of our e-reporters, that they can generate new content for us, for our community, from our perspective. This is an example of a cross-cultural collaboration between Romani women NGOs and groups that the main beneficiaries are also Romani women. But over that we mostly emphasize the new media and social media and the developments of Web 2.0 that could help in any ways to create new ways of cheap analyzing of the situation. For example, the e-health program we have is something that would use iPads and small tablets to analyze the situation of Romani women who never get mostly to public health services, and try to put together notes and report it to social workers so they can do their job better, and they can, have either mobile health services coming to them, to the settlement, and or them themselves visiting the health settlements for a priority if needed.
So after women join your community, what happens to them after a few months or years?
If they join as a volunteer at Romedia, then they can plan to be involved on the long term in our foundation. If they join as a beneficiary, meaning they win an internship for the summer camp, then they also have a year full engagement to write content. If they are a professional already, which happens in many cases, then they have the meetings with us when we define our lobby strategy. And some of them also supporting us with small donations online. We have an iPhone application called Catapult, where we try to raise funds for our video camp for Romani women during the summer. So they do small donations as well. And they take part on our events and celebrations, what we organize.
So what are the plans of Romedia Foundation for 2013 and 14?
We try to think about the social enterprise that would make sustainable the foundation. And we found out that the quality of our videos and films are getting greater and greater success to the foundation. So we established an independent film production company that the foundation owns. So from that time on, we are willing to have greater European cross-border film projects that also makes our overall foundation sustainable. That's what we're doing right now. And we also have over that summer camp projects, 2 very active online activities and communities that we are working with. So these are the plans for this year: 3 films to finish, the daily social activity, every week 2 new videos by Romani women. So these are the issues that we're working with.
I also read your story on, I think, I forget the website, but it's for women. And so your family's story was so interesting. I was blown away by it. And could you please share it with our audience?
I think you read the Global Fund for Women
Yes.
publication for International Roma Day. So yeah, they are a donor organization to us, So they are funding our work, and it's very important for us that they do support. So I shared with them this personal memory from my childhood. It's very much, I think, similar to other traditional communities when the first women or the first guy is breaking out from the traditional rules and goes to higher education. Certain changes are happening, but that first step that the person does, it's very hard. So it was the case with my mother, that she was the first to be actually able to go to high school, which was some 140 kilometers away from the small village where they lived. And there was a great fight over this issue in my extended family at that time. Half of the family saying that she shouldn't go because she will be an outsider, someone who not belong anymore to the group and communities, and will be too much close and in touch with non-Roma. And then the other side of the community who believed in progressive and modern steps, they said, well, she doesn't have many chance here. She has much higher chance if she goes, and that's the only chance we have. So they win, that fraction win in my community. And therefore my mother could be sent to high school. She finished it, and then she went to university. And that was an opening step, So many other members, especially women members of my family, had the chance to follow her. So I have many members of my family who has higher diplomas and are Romani women, which is not really a common thing within Romani families. And of course, the small village and the extended family were very much judging my mother and actually my grandma that she
Mm-hmm.
allowed this to happen. So I think this is the story that was at the Global Fund for Women's Publications, but it does refer to many of my friends' story too, who are first generation intellectuals.
Wow, that was the interview with Katalin Bársony from the Romedia Foundation. Make sure to check their website www.romediafoundation.org. If you like this interview, please share it with your friends. And of course, feel free to ask any questions in the comments. I'm Galina, and thank you for joining me today.